Mother was born in Little Rock as Betty Jean Grayson, but when she married my father, obviously her last name became Davis, so she became Betty Davis. And when they got to Hollywood and they were trying to figure out a screen name for her, obviously Betty Davis wouldn't work because that had been used once or twice before, I believe. So anyway, they came up with Gail Davis, and I wish I could tell you, but I don't know where the name Gail came from. But that's where Gail Davis came from, and that's what she stuck with for the rest of her life. When Mother first started with her dramatics, she loved the idea of drama, and she loved the idea of comedy, but who was to say that she'd end up in westerns? The first shows or the first films that she ever did, and there were several shorts that she did, were of the dramatic genre. But very early on, she ended up doing a couple of westerns, one of them being with Johnny Mac Brown, one of them being with Roy Rogers, and she just fell in love with that. And maybe it was the tomboy in her, I don't know, but she got to wear her blue jeans all the time, and she loved being outside, and she loved being with the horses, and loved working with the people. So westerns became her thing from then on, and that was, gosh, I guess back in 1948. Early on in Mother's career, she was seen by Gene Autry and Mandy Schaefer, who was Gene's producer, and they thought she would do very well as one of his leading ladies, of which he had several. So she came in, and they fell in love with her, and she ended up doing 12 of his feature films, as well as, I believe it was 14 of his half-hour shows. Gene decided to use Annie Oakley as the heroine for little girls, just like there were so many little boys in love with Gene Autry and Roy Rogers and all the others. Nobody told Mother about it. She happened to read it in the newspaper, and they had done it, what they called back then, a cattle call. All over the United States, they were looking for an unknown to come in to audition for the part of Annie Oakley. Well, Mother saw that, and she thought, my gosh, this is for me. So she went in to Mandy Schaefer, the producer, as well as to Gene, and saying, I really want to do this. And they said, no, you're Gene's leading lady. We don't want to mess that up. Let's, just do what you need to do, but Annie's going to be for somebody else. Well, that didn't satisfy her. Mother decided that she wanted to be the next Annie Oakley. She went home, and my godmother put freckles on her face and put her in a red gingham shirt and a pair of blue jeans and put her hair in pigtails, and she did the audition, and she won hands down. She was Annie. From the time that she did the audition until the day she died, she was Annie Oakley for the 50s and into perpetuity.